Stephen Pressfield reminds us that the more scared we feel about a particular work or calling is the more sure we can be that we have to do it. I think we owe it to ourselves and to the betterment of our society to ensure that we figure out exactly what it is that we really feel called to do that will contribute to our society and get to the business of doing it. I want to talk today about two fears that can get in the way of us being able to do that. The first fear is the fear of not fitting in the mold. The fear of not fitting in the mold and the kind of judgment that we will receive when we don't can be a really strong deterrent from having us stepping fully into our calling. I'm a big supporter of the liberal arts education experience. I'm a student of it myself. Went to Wesleyan University, and at Wesleyan we were never really told that we had to fit in the mold. In fact, we were encouraged to do the opposite. So for example, I had a friend, my husband, who was a Spanish major, a Latin American studies major, but who also ran a radio show and also, supported janitors with learning how to speak English, and who now runs his own audio engineering company. And we were always encouraged to have a both and. I had another friend, same school, who, was an econ psych major, but at night she used to coordinate fashion shows and work on making fashion design type clothing and was interested in all of that work. Now she's a lawyer, but she still has a clothing line and she's still pursuing both passions. I think that this whole notion of us having only one calling and one big passion that we need to follow, forgetting all else, can really trip up a lot of people from finding their calling. There are in fact a lot of people who have several callings, and I think what we need to do instead is follow the warm trail of our curiosities. Like, what are we curious about? Follow that, and that will lead to our passion, or passions, or calling, or callings. Now, what happens to people in our society that have several callings, sometimes at the same time, sometimes in sequence, and who aren't in the nice container of a Wesleyan University that encourages that kind of plurality? What tends to happen is that those people are met with really harsh criticism and really harsh judgment. So I have a friend of mine who, started out in med school and then kind of dropped out of med school because it wasn't the right fit for her, and then she went on to do social work and then kind of left that because it felt too bureaucratic, and is now in a nonprofit and activist arena. Now, throughout her career, I observed people really saying like, geez, why is she so directionless? Like, when will she get it together? When will she, grow up and pick something and stick with it and stay the course? Good thing for her is that she was always somebody who followed her true north. So she really didn't let that judgment and that harsh criticism deter her in any way. And she's quite happy with how her life has evolved and how she's been able to pursue her many different callings in her life. I think it's important for us to lose that notion that we really need to pursue one way of finding our calling and one way of doing things. I think the second fear that can really get in the way of us stepping fully into our calling or callings is the fear of failure. So often we can just tiptoe around our calling. We don't really kind of get really close to it, but we don't jump fully into it because we're really afraid of the uncertainty. We're afraid of the insecurity. I'm going to use the example of Good Will Hunting, where the character that Matt Damon played was this math genius who was a janitor at Harvard, in the dark, solving all these complex math problems that were left behind from math classes that were led at Harvard. And of course, when he was interviewed by Robin Williams, who played his psychotherapist in the show, of course, Robin Williams called him out on it and said, well, you could have been a janitor anywhere. Why be a janitor at Harvard? You really kind of tiptoeing around your genius. You know that you're a genius. Why are you tiptoeing around it? Why not step fully into it? Why not just do it, jump in, dive in, and do what you need to do? So I think it's really important for us to not approximate our calling in that way, to not really just tiptoe around it, but really do it. So what can we do to overcome those two fears, the fear of not fitting the mold and the fear of failure? I think ultimately that gnawing feeling inside of you of, I'm not really doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm not really being whom I'm supposed to be fully, needs to matter to you more than the fear of judgment from other people. It has to matter to you more. And two, you have to know, not just intellectually, but you have to know for sure and embody fully that your dreams are valid. Your dreams matter. Your dreams matter just as much as your partner's. Your dreams matter just as much as your role as a mom or your role as a worker in the office or whatever it may be. Your dreams are valid. Your dreams matter. I think we owe it again to ourselves and to the betterment of our society to figure out what it is that we need to do here, to figure out what it is that you are uniquely positioned, equipped to do, that I can do, that she can do, and he can do, unless you do it. Again, I think we need to claim that calling, don't tiptoe around it, drop the shackles of fear, dive in. Let me know what you think about this vlog. Comment below, and if it resonates with you, please share it. In the meantime, take good care. Bye-bye.